Seeing the distressed situation, we do see more products to come in the next years because there's a lot of refinancing to be done and a lot of situations which lead to disposal of product, but this will not be core product by definition in some way. So it won't be core assets in Hamburg or Munich that are coming to the market. It's more like distressed situations in secondary or in tertiary locations.
I think that very few investors in France are expecting distressed in 2013. They think that they keep seeing distressed as something quite exceptional. So there will be some distress, but it won't be a massive distress that will translate into a disruption of the transaction market. The reason of this is that I think that to find a distressed property on a market, you need to have two things. You need to have forced sales, and you need to have a fall in liquidity. Because if you have forced sales on an asset very demanded by investors, it may not eventually end into a distressed sale. Will we see forced sales in the future? I think that it's not a question of value. I think that even if value is recognized lower than it is today, I don't think that it will oblige the banks to pull the trigger. I think that the main trigger will come from a breach in debt servicing or DSCR ratio. If the DSCR ratio becomes lower than 1, meaning that the asset cannot service the debt anymore, then the banks maybe will be in a situation to force the sales. And so when it comes to a failure in terms of debt servicing should be the result of a fall in revenue. So where do we see today fall in revenue? Fall in revenue does not currently happen or is not obvious in retail or in logistics. I think that it will come in 2013 in the office sector. So maybe forced sales on the office sector, and when Stéphane said that there was no buyer for secondary assets, so you have the two elements. You have forced sales and you have also a lack of liquidity on secondary office assets.
I think that the secondary product or secondary location is the one key element of this question regarding the distressed asset. What is a distressed asset? I'm not going to give a long definition, but we don't find distressed asset or potentially distressed asset in Paris Intramural close to the Arc de Triomphe. What does it mean? That it is a question of location, it's a question of quality of the building. What are the investors looking for? They're looking for, I would say, a market where the GDP growth is positive. Is the GDP is going to be positive within the coming months or year? It is not expected to be that way, except maybe for, like Mehdi was saying, for a bit of UK. What does it mean? It means that from a letting point of view, from a rental level point of view, how the market is currently analyzing. I'm very not surprised, but each time now we are introducing an investment opportunity to the market, some months and years ago, the reaction was, okay, what about the location? What about the location? And the third word, what about the location? Now, first word is, what about the location? What is about the rental level? What does it mean? Is that because of the GDP growth and because of this new element, much more looked after, all the market is now focusing on the rental level, which means that the distressed market is not ready or not mature yet. It means that there's something which is going to come, if it comes to the market, step by step. First, where the GDP growth is, more in UK and after in Germany and after in France. So if distressed sale happen, it will more started over there. And all the different banks will have to struggle with it, will have to keep it within their, I'm afraid, within their portfolio, leaving aside the question of book value and above all valuation.